Let's see if we on the air.
Oh Lord, these folks talking about Tony Braxton. They called Birdman with this Jesse.
Tootie! 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 Come close your mama door. I'm live. Give me just 1 second, y'all. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. I'm finna share it in the screen. I mean, share it in Mossi share page, and I'll get started. Peace, 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 peace. You loud and live. Yeah, I'm loud and live. They loud and live, not me. Give me a second, and I'm gonna jump into it. I wanna copy the link and put it in the Mossi share page real quick.
What's good?
What's happening? What's happening? We live. We live with Tep and Bra and Rasa. Hold on, I'm gonna get into it in a minute. I'm finna try to share it on this thing. Monster Life page real quick. Okay, shit, I'll take that out there. Wi-Fi off. Man. We finna get started, y'all. Give me just a second. I'm having technical difficulties with my phone. All right, something. All right, let's see if it posted. It's posted, and we finna get started. Put it in there. It's already in there. All right, let me go back. All right. First I want to say ETM Hotel. Well, shoot, first before I get in, I want to say welcome back to the Mossi Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Peace to everyone that's in the chat and those that may come in the chat later. Appreciate those that are watching now and those that may come back and watch this video in the archive. I want to say ETM Hotep, Rennie Kofi Piesie, or one of your favorite Mossi Warriors, Kofi Piesie, Fatmu Alafie, Fatmu Iwa Pele, Majuba Iba Iya Gungun, Majuba Iba I Ilakba, Majuba Iba I Ilakba, Gungun Kiki Igungun. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors and honor and praises to the true and living ancestors. Dual Aku, Dual Net. I got on the panel. I got my brother Satep Rob Mariaman on the panel. I got brother Vasa Nicolo on the panel. I don't know where any Haret Sean Calfani yet. He's absent for the second time. Y'all got anything to say, man, before I share my screen and jump into this little small presentation?
Yeah. Peace to the chat. Yeah, Sean, get your big head. Get in here. I know you're out there watching somewhere.
Yeah, he in the chat while I was in the chat a while ago. Yeah. You got anything, boss?
Uh,
Oh no. Oh my bad. Go ahead, man.
I'll say peace to the panel and peace to the chat that's listening and the future audience. Uh, Interested to see where this show's about to go at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, something, man. I pieced together, man. I'm talking about quick, man. Talking about put together real quick, man. Me and Sean said we was gonna start doing these unprompt videos prior to Sunday. Small videos. Um, just dealing with say draft. Disregard. Um, small information. And put it up on the channel, man, real quick. So we just trying to do like 30, 40 minutes. Like the last one I did an impromptu one last was Saturday. Yesterday I did one last night and said I'll do one again today. um yeah, do one again today. So I put something together, man. This thing here, bro, be tripping me out. Y'all, we finna get started, man. I don't know what be going on, man. Ooh, not this. My phone connected to my Wi-Fi, man. It be acting up. I got an Apple iPad hooked. I got 3 laptops hooked to it, and my new iPhone. But this new iPhone, man, it's sometimes it act like it don't be want to connect to my router for some reason. Was trying to go back to, and it won't even let me go on to my page. It won't even let me go back on to what's the name. Well, man. Anyway, y'all, and I'll reshare it later on. But those is in the chat. Please like the show and share the show with some people that you may think that may be interested in this information. Please share it in a lot of the groups. I don't have time to share it in the thousands of groups that I belong to. But let's get into it real quick. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. Um, and everyone. All right, this presentation is called "What is Scarification Marks in Africa?" My now what the heck? Okay, now is yeah, it's showing. I'm trying to see, is it showing my screen sharing?
yeah, yeah, we said.
Okay. Hold on, man. This damn thing here. Ooh, screw me, y'all. This thing here is getting on my nerve. All right. And see, again, peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to my name is Jay. Peace, LB. I already peace, boss. Boss over here. Peace, my good brother Sutak. Peace. I need to get with you too, Sutek, man. Inbox me, man, your number. Peace, brother Jadar. Peace. But again, and I'm echoing. I got my phone on. What is scarification marks in Africa by your brother or your Mossi Arakunrin Kofi Piesie? All right, what is scarification? Scarification is the practice of excisions, the skin with the sharp instruments such as knives, glass stones, or coconut shells, in such a way to control the shapes of the scars, tissues, and various parts of the body. And again, scarification is also one of those rites of passages. I know y'all heard me talk about the rites of passages uh, and briefly discuss them some. I have a rites of passage presentation on Kofi Piesie TV, so please go subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you go visit that platform, um, I have one called right African Rites of Passage, and I deal with those rites of passage. I deal with the birthright. I deal with the adult right. I deal with the circumcision rite. I deal with the marriage rite. I deal with, and I also have a marriage rite, just an exclusive presentation on why marriage is the most important rite out of all of those rites. Uh, I also deal with the ancestor right, elders right, and the ancestors right. But also you have scarification is also a rites of passage, and tattooing is also a rites of passage. I never touched on scarification much. We never did in that rites of passage presentation or tattooing and that rites of passage presentation. So again, scarification is also a rites of passage, and some of the African cultures or some of the ethnic groups in Africa. So again, scarification is the practice uh, in incisions to the skin with a sharp instrument such as a knife, glass, stone, and coconut shell, but also they use thorn bushes as well for these scarification marks in such a way as control to shape and scar tissues on various parts of the body. African ethnic groups tools used for scarification, which I mentioned on the last slide, which is not a knife, which I don't have on here, but knife, metal, glass, stone, and thorn bushes. So these are some of the things that they use for the scarification marks. Uh, I can't pronounce this word, but it's the same as scarification. Sucker, see castrations is a special form of scarification where a gash is made in the skin with a sharp instrument and irritation of the skin caused by applying caustic plant juice from permanent blisters. Dark pigments such as uh, ground charcoal and sometimes rubbed into the wounds for emphasizing these cuts. When healed, form raises scars known as keloids. The most complicated uh, castration was probably found in the Congo Basin and the neighboring regions of the among the Akan people of West Africa. So today, it's just a little bit of what scarification is, the um, the tools that they use for scarification. Again, knife, uh, what is it? Knife, glass, stone, thorn hedges, thorn bushes. Um, So we're going to deal with scarification in South Africa. We're going to deal with scarification in West Africa. We're going to deal with scarification in East Africa. We're going to see what these ethnic groups in these three regions talk about scarification or the meanings behind scarifications or why they get scarifications and when to get scarification marks. And again, scarification is a rites of passage as well. All right, here is a Tabwa woman from the DR Congo, well, and Central Africa. So I forgot Central Africa because one of the slides just mentioned here, we talk about those probably found in the Congo Basin. So the Congo is in Central Africa. So here is one of the scarification marks where they use, where they also put gunpowder, they put some type of plant juice, they put some type of charcoal to make these scars rise and look like these large kilos. So this is a woman from the Tawa people in the Congo, which is in Central Africa. And you can see here the scarification marks and whatever method they used, whether it was a plant, whether it was charcoal, gunpowder, or whatever source of form they used in order for these scars to rise and look like large kilos. Um, here, Here is another one, the body man from the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. This here is from the Omo Valley here. Scarification marks. Now, scarification is long and painful process, and it is a permanent modification of the body, transmitting complex messages about identities and social status. So, scarification marks now can transmit complex complex messages. So some tribes or ethnic groups use scarification to transmit certain messages. So certain scarification marks can transmit messages according to some ethnic groups about their identity and their social status in their community. So some person may be in some type of social status, high ranking status, may have certain distinctive marks, distinctive scarification marks on a certain part of their bodies. Permanent body marking emphasize social, political, and religious roles. So scarification is also used in their religion or their spirituality or their way of life or the way of their or the way of their ancestors. Beautiful or for beautiful or complex design depending on the artist skills, but also on a person tolerance of the pain. So scarification is also used for beautification. It is used for uh, certain ethnic groups, certain tribes, clans, get scarification, specifically the women get scarification, meaning for beauty, meaning for attraction. Some men are attracted, and we'll get into what groups or ethnic groups and what region or geographical location where the women get scarification marks, and men are more tend to or prone to be more attractive to those women that may have these scarification marks on their bodies. Family, please like the show, share the show. Please share the show to anyone you think that might be interested in this information. Scarification. Facial scarification in West Africa was used for identification of ethnic groups, families, individuals, but also expresses beauty. Scars were thought to be beautified by the body. It was also performed on girls to mark stages of life. So there you have another part of scarification where it deals with the demarcation stages of life, where you have not only girls and boys who are becoming an adult or in puberty. Some ethnic groups deal with scarification when you are in puberty. And then you get more scarification marks when you become an adult. So one rites of passage, which is the birthright, you get scarification marks. And then the next rite, the adult rite, you get another form of scarification. This is according to some ethnic groups, not all ethnic groups, but some ethnic groups during the puberty stage, you get scarification marks. And these marks resemble that you are a youth or a child or a wild one. And then you have you transition from one right into another right, which is the adult right. So now you get more scarification marks, uh, amplifying or stating that you are now transitioning from a youth into an adult, from youthhood into adulthood. Life, puberty, and marriage. You also get scarification marks according to some ethnic groups when you get married. And these marks distinguish who's married and who's not married. These marks assist in making women more attractive to men, as scars was regarded as appealing to touch as well as to look at, but also a testimony that women could withstand pain of childbirth. Here is a Dagogi woman from Tanzania with the traditional scarification marks. We talked about scarification marks in that slide on the face. So here you have a woman here, the Tagoni woman from Tanzania, who has these distinctive scarification marks around her eyes and uh, horizontal, not horizontal, but vertical up her forehead, from her nose to her forehead. Here is the scarification marks, and we're talking about we're going from east again. We're going to be dealing with Central Africa, South Africa, uh, East Africa, and West Africa. So here you have scarification marks in West Africa, in Benin. by a woman who has these distinctive scarification marks on her face, side of her face, her cheeks, and the middle of her forehead. And you see these slashes. These slashes are popular in West Africa. Scarification. Princes in many places, including West Cameroon, used to sport amazingly beautiful and intricate marks. The sculpted face of Queen Enda of Benin Kingdom sport two marks on her forehead. For the quarter people, okay, let me stop right there. On her forehead, I supposed to deleted that. That's what I get again for throwing stuff together real quick and not going back and deleting the information I need to, proofreading stuff where I need to. But again, princes of many places include West Cameroon, used to sport amazing, beautiful, and intricate marks. The sculpture face on the Queen Indy of Benin Kingdom sports two marks on her forehead. This is in Benin. This is in West Africa. But you see this in Nigeria as well. The pennant of African mask represents Queen Indy. So we just talked about Queen Indy. So there is a mask, West African mask, which is a popular mask, and I have this mask made on um, a shirt designed by um, brother Damo, Sin Damo, a brother who's in the Seshu Ma'ani Metanetra group with him. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of his little clothing line, but he created a fire shirt uh, with Queen Indy mask on the front of it. And this is the 16th century. And you can see the scarification, these two vertical marks. And again, I said these marks are you will see these marks in West Africa a lot. Again, I'll go back here real quick. You can see here where you can see these lines on this scarification marks on this woman from Benin. She has three here, but she has two on the side, and she has four on the side of her face, and three on each side of her cheek, and two on the other side toward her temple. You can see two here in the forehead, and then here you can see this young brother who here body mark has been used for centuries in part of Africa to indicate a person's tribal heritage. So these this um, scarification marks particularly identify. It's also the scarification marks are identifiers. So they identify you to a certain tribe. So you may belong to one of the Cameroon tribes, and you know, in some of these countries, you have 4, 5, 10, 15, sometimes 30 different ethnic groups different ethnic groups in one region. So they use these scarification marks as identifier. You know what I'm saying? So you will know exactly, okay, well, this brother here belongs to the Masika tribe. All right, this brother here belongs to the Hamhara tribe or whoever tribe it makes. So it is identifier. So you can see the brother, this young brother here with the two vertical marks as you seen Queen Benny had, and the representation of the Pennic ivory mask with the two scarification marks in the middle of the forehead. All right, Pacific rituals occur regularly within tribal communities, and sometimes neighboring villages will travel all night to witness these rites of passages and participate in the celebration. Body scarification convey either significant symbolism or artistic beauty, depending upon the sex of the individual. The scarification of the man's chest indicates that he has killed enemies from other tribes and is highly respected within his community. So I know y'all heard this before. Y'all heard this before because I have said this twice in two different presentations that I have presented. One is called Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Kara people, and the second one is to Welcome back to the Omo Valley with the Hamara people. So those are two different ethnic groups in the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. So, and I'm gonna still give you those volumes because I promised y'all I was gonna give y'all volumes of the ethnic groups in the Omo Valley. Next, we may go to the mercy of the body or some other different ethnic group that's in the Omo Valley, but I have covered the Karo people, and I have covered the Hamara people in the Omo Valley. And these two ethnic groups, scarification marks, particularly dealing with the man or and with the women, is particularly the same. The scarification marks, and we'll get into that in some imageries in that in a minute. But kills an enemy from other tribes and is highly respected within his community. Each line in his chest represents one killing and a complete chest. And y'all heard this also or seen this in a favorite. I know in most of the favorite black movie, the most favorite black movie that came out in 2018. Killing and a complete chest scarification is not rare. The Karo women are considered particularly sensual and attractive if cut or made deeply into their chests and torsos, and ash is rubbed in and created a raised effect over time and thereby enhancing sexual beauty. So the Karo women uses the scarification mark for attraction, sensual attraction. And I stated earlier that some ethnic groups, not only in East Africa but in West Africa, these scarification marks on the women represents attraction. It represents beauty, and some men are more attracted to women that has scarification marks. But not just because you see women that may have scarification marks deals with beauty. It may also deal with a rites of passage. One woman may be in a stage of puberty because some ethnic groups deal with scarification marks. Once you are in the puberty stage or in the youthhood, you get scarification marks, and then you get more scarification marks when you become an adult. So it just all varies with what ethnic group it is. All right, the Cairo people scarification marks. For the Cairo people in Ethiopia, men scars their chests, which represents killing enemies from other tribes. Women with scarred torsos and chests considered particularly sensual attraction, as I just stated. Here is a brother here. Wish I could have got a better picture, and I could have went to my Cairo presentation and snatched a few pictures because I had a tons of pictures in that presentation, but I just snatched a picture real quick just to put on here, and you see these slashes. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but here's my cursor, and you can see these slashes, these horizontal slashes going down this mighty Karo warrior chest. And this represents he is in high status. He has killed their enemies. He has killed their tribe enemies. So each kill that he has of killing his enemies, or not only a enemy, or it could be some type of wild beast that has attacked and ran rampant in their community. So he was a mighty warrior and might have slain one of these beasts that was terrorizing the community as well. So it also don't mean just him killing one's enemy, but it may be him killing a beast in nature that terrorized or may put his community in danger. Here is another picture here of a woman from the Cairo where it talks about the ash being smeared in the scarification mark, where it gives you this raised effect on the torso. Here is two other pictures here at the bottom of, and men have some discipline. There's some breast out. It's some breast out, but please have some discipline. Um, but and that's something that a lot of us is lacking discipline. Men is lacking discipline. If a woman did walk naked, we couldn't even have enough discipline where we could, still respect the women. Because again, here in Africa, whatever. But in Africa, the sun is closer to the equator of the continent. So you have darker skinned people, and that country, or that country is hot. So they wear less clothes as possible. So you don't see a lot of those brothers running around gazing at the women breasts, and you know trying to tap on the women butt and rub on the breast because they are may be exposed. So, we need to work on that over here and have some dis. Here's another picture of a Kara woman who also has the scarification marks on the side of her stomach and in the middle of her stomach, and the traditional beads that they wear. And again, you will see this all over Africa, beads, you know. So, that's African culture, not stones and crystals, but beads. All right, Hambra people scarification. Cattle raiding and another important tradition. From the times to time, a man will go on raids alone or with a hunting friend called miso to take food, cattle, and or the weapons and ammunition of the man he kills, and more importantly, this will give them status. After they kill, the man returns to his village where he is welcomed as a hero and is entitled to scarification. On one line for each kill performed. Hamra women also have artistic scars, some women before marriage, others afterwards. In some village, if a man has no more room to tally his kills, one of his wives has his scarring entitlement on her skin. Most men prefer scarified women to those who are not, as I stated. And in the Hamra culture, those who may go out and kill enemies, their enemies, um, they also get scarification marks on their chest and their torsos. And if they run out of lines, their woman tally the kills on their body, so they get scarification marks of the kills of their husband. The scariest of the women cut are small branches from a bush within pairs of sharp thorns. The double thorns is used to lift the skin, which is then cut with a sharp iron hide tool and made by the blacksmith. This is the two thorn bush used for scarification, and this is a method that the Hamra people use in the Omo Valley for scarification. Here is a Hamra man with scarification marks on his chest and on his torso. And again, these markings are used for a kill, killing enemies, and also just like the Karo people, they are also used not only for killing their enemies, but killing wild beasts in the field, or beasts or animals that may have terrorized or may put their families in danger. Here is a Hamra woman who has the markings of a kill from her husband, who are the tallies of kills from her husband that he may have ran out on his body. Here is Killmonger. I talked about the favorite movie while ago of scarification marks, and showing from the Cabral people in the Omo Valley, not only just the Cabral people, but you have the Hamra people, the Body people also deal with these scarification marks that they use, and they may put this type of ash or some type of plant juice uh, that they may rub into the scars to give it this rise keloid effect. And a lot of these markings are utilized as a kill. So a lot of us that watched the Black Panther movie, we saw Killmonger. Every time he killed someone, he would put a marking on his body. So they use a lot of different African culture in that movie, not in one geographical location, but scattered abroad. So particularly, maybe this is where they got this part of marking the kills with Killmonger having these scarification marks all on his body. Because again, he used these marks where he marked his body every time he killed someone. And to Killmonger, everybody in the movie was an enemy. Um, Here is the Dinka woman. the Dinka woman with traditional scarifications in Duba in South Sudan. So this is another place. I mean, this is another. This is a woman who's in the Sudan with these scarification marks um, on her face. Here is a Dinka man with traditional scarification marks. And hold on, I'm gonna make sure I didn't. Okay, I didn't. Scarification. This is the Dinka man with the traditional scarification mark. So they had these sorts of vertical looking V-shaped scarification marks on their foreheads. Here is a Wodabi woman from Niger. Scars and tattoos are placed to both beautify the women and ward off evil spirits. So, according to the women in Niger from the Wadabi tribe, the scarification marks is not only to enhance the women beauty, but it is also used as a form of warding off evil spirits. So scarification marks, according to this ethnic group, here is not only for beautification, but it is used to ward off evil spirits. The Murrah people scarification. The scars displays on the arms and the bodies of the Mercer, and I meant that I need to change that. I said murder, it's supposed to be Mercer. The Mercer people scarification. The scars displayed on the arms and the bodies of the Mercers are often a record of persons achieving achievements, which can include feats of bravery and battles of outstanding skills in hunting. The marks improve the social status of the world. So, according to this ethnic group or this African tribe, the Mercer people scarification marks may be something dealing with a record of personal achievement. So the meaning of their scarification marks may be something that they may have achieved, or maybe because of their bravery in battle and or their outstanding hunting skills. So again, according to the Mercy, this is what their scarification marks may mean. Here is some of the scarification marks on on the arm that we talked about the particular slide a while ago. These uh, uh, um, scarification marks on the right arm. Then you have the Masika women scarification marks of the Nuba people. So, and there are many different ethnic groups when you deal with the Nuba people. And the Nuba people don't even know that they call Nuba people unless they leave outside of their own domain and most find out that they are named by outsiders. And again, we know these outsiders come in and then they give these people the names that they want to give the Nuba people. But there's so many different. There's 52 or 57 ethnic groups, or 57 ethnic groups that is called the Nuba people. And I deal with two. The Masika people are one that I deal with the Nuba presentation, not the Nubian, but Nuba, not Nubian, but Nuba people. So I did a presentation on this channel about the Nuba people, and um, I'm still going to bring you part two of the Nuba people that's dealing with wrestling. They say that these are the people, or the inventors of the concept of wrestling. So I'm gonna give y'all that presentation soon. I'm actually over halfway through with it, but I just hadn't went back to the book to finish my thick book. I got to finish typing it out and taking pictures because it's hard to find some pictures because I want to deal with a lot of the pictures because they go to a certain camp. And I forgot the name of the camp. So a lot of them, when you same thing when you dealing with these rites of passages, a lot of people, the women and men, is exiled into the forest. A lot of the traditions, uh, east, west, south that I have studied, and even in the central, a lot of the rites of passage deal with a lot of them being exiled out of the community into the forest, and where they learn certain type of knowledge and certain types of skills. And the Masika, not the Masika people, as well as a few other new, well, all of the Nuba people, because it became a competition, a sport. And we'll get into that because I want to talk about the name of the place and what they do and how they train, uh, and so forth. So we be on the lookout for that. Like I said, I'm over halfway through it. I just got to quit being lazy and go ahead and finish it. That may be the next one following after my Adani presentation. But this is the scarification mark on the left arm of a Masiko woman here. Here is the Bajagong girl showing her initiation marks on her stomach. So this process of her scarification marks come from her being initiated. And again, scarification is another form or is a rites of passage. So this is her coming into age uh, as she go through her adult rites of passages. She has to have scarification marks to distinguish her now from coming from a youth and into adulthood. So this is a coming of age with the scarification marks on her chest. And again, I'm showing breast. So brothers, please be respectful and have some dignity and some discipline. Um, and I talked about the Bajagon people and on Kofi Piesie TV. It is a interesting presentation that I did. One of my favorite presentations that I did about the Bajagon people. It is a uh, matriarchic society or community or tribe where particular the woman or the women runs the tribe, and the women acts the men hand in marriage, and they do that by a form of food that they put at the front doors of the men, and the men particularly um, move in with the women and their families once they marry the women. And if they grant a divorce, the children leave with the man. It doesn't stay with the woman. So that is a powerful presentation. That's one of my favorite presentations. So if you hadn't checked out that presentation, also go to Kofi Piesie TV, and as you look at the video, please, if you just your first time, please hit the notification and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I need some more subscribers on that channel. And again, be looking forward to some new content that I'm going to flood pretty soon on Kofi Piesie TV, because I only did one presentation and that was last month for 2019. But I mean, you got 80 some videos on there now, so you can always go in the archives and you can look at those. It take you probably a few months just to look at those presentations that I have, but go back and look at the one that I did about the Queen Warrior. Oh, I can't think of her name right now, but I did it last month. So check that presentation. I also checked the Bajagon presentation out as well. But the initiation, the Bajagon men, Fundo, coming of age, and women represents a crossing between different stages of periods of life. It grants paternity and the men and maternity of the women. Here is the Eastern Congo woman with the beauty scars, incisions intended to accentuate her charm. So again, a lot of the ethnic groups, when you see the scarification marks on the women, is a form or a sign of beauty, or enhancing their beauty, sort of say. So this is in Central Africa here. This picture here, sister, out of the Eastern Congo. A scarification mark. East elsewhere in Africa, scarification marks is done for other reasons. The Ikawo or the Ijagum, which is there is a presentation. And I'm pronouncing that name wrong. I wish Sean Peanut Head was on here. I don't know where he at, but it's all good. But the Ajagon people, it's a presentation that Sean did on Kofi Piesie TV. Nice presentation that he put together. Um, it is also one of my favorite presentations on Kofi Piesie TV. The Aljagon people, he did a powerful presentation on them. So go check that out on Kofi Piesie TV as well. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Kofi Piesie TV as well as Mossi Warrior Clan channel. Southern Eastern Nigeria believe that the scars on their body will serve them as money on their way to a place of the dead. So, according to the Ikawo or the Ejagum people in Nigeria, which is in West Africa, the scars or the scarification marks serve them as money on their way to a place of the dead. The Sura men in Ethiopia scars their bodies to show they killed someone from their enemy tribe, the same as the Karo people as well as the Hamra people. And the Sura people is also in the Omo Valley region. And again, there is so many groups, ethnic groups or tribes in the Omo Valley, and their culture mirrors each other. One group, for example, cutting horseshoes shapes on their right arms indicates they killed a man. So you know, with the Karo and the Hamra people, they have the horizontal slashes uh, that they rub with ash to make them look like large keloids on the chest and on the torso. Now, these some ethnic groups use horseshoes and they don't use for the chest and the torso. They use for their arm, and they are in shape of horseshoes. Excuse me, to indicate the kills of their enemies. And on the left hand for female victims. In contrast, neighborings of the Sura, the Ethiopians, the Omo Valley, the Mercer practice scarification for large artistic reasons. Both men and women create swirling dotted patterns on their bodies that may not necessarily mean anything, but with attracting the opposite sex and enhancing the tactical experience of sexual relationship. All right. This is an intricate. They also produce scarification marks on their mask. They put scarification marks on their mask. So they not only put scarification marks on their face, their cheeks, their arms, their chest, and their torso, but they also, when they're carving their uh, mask, has the same scarification marks that they implement in their culture and their tradition. So here is an intricate patterns on the Dogon mask from Mali. So you can see the scarification marks, and these are facial scarification marks here. And again, some scarification marks are used in some ethnic groups in Africa for identifying markers or identifying markers to identify one from such another group. Because again, you may have 5, you may have 10, you may have 15, you may have 20 groups, 20 ethnic groups in one country. So the scarification marks on the face can also be utilized as an identify marker, so you can identify one tribe from the next tribe. Here is another diamond and rectangle pattern on the forehead of and a temple of the Takar mask from the Cameroon. So here is a mask from also the Cameroon people that utilizes scarification marks in the middle of their forehead. Here is the mask with scaring marks on remembering the Makandi in Tanzania. So I now also did a presentation on this channel. It's called Mozambique and Tanzania. The Makandi people, I think, master art builders or something. You know, I have these long titles, but it's in some form where I talk about the Makandi people in Mozambique and in Tanzania. I talk about their culture. I talk about their tattooing and their scarification marks on the face, and a lot of the scarification marks on the face of the Makandi people in Mozambique and in Tanzania are used for scaring off enemies. So this is what the scarification marks are used for on the face, dealing with the Makandi people, but they were also craftsmen, master craftsmen. So I also showed their craftsmanship uh, and people come all over the world, and they went, how they began to gain uh, more popularity and to gain more riches by crafting certain things for foreigners who came in and recognized their craftsmanship. So if you hadn't checked that presentation out, after this show or when you get some time, just scroll through the catalog that the Mossi Warrior Clan have and check out this presentation. Again, it's called Mozambique and Tanzania, the Makandi people, master craftsmen, somewhere in there from, but you'll find it. Scarification. Pain and blood can play a large part in scarification process to determine the person fitness, endurance, and bravery. Yes, and scarification marks is also used during the rites of passage to also show certain things, show endorsement and bravery. This is especially a case of puberty rites, since the child must prove they are ready to face the reality and responsibility of an adult, and particular the prospect of injuries of death in battles for men and the trauma of childbirth for women. The transformation elements of many scarification process can be linked to the real psychological experience. The pain sensation and release of endorphins can result in euphoric states condensed of spiritual atonement. Scarification, although such extreme forms of bodily decoration might seem alien to outsiders, scarifications are practiced along traditional lines by experiencing hands, has a serious ritual purpose connected to social systems and cultural beliefs. As an act of self mutilation, it cannot be regarded separately from tattooing, piercing, and plastic surgery. Because I know a lot of people will say the scarification, oh, they're mutilating their bodies. But in the next slide, I'm going to talk about it too, real quick. We do that over here. We mutilate our bodies every day. We get tattoos. We have tattoos all over our bodies today. We have piercing all over our bodies today. We get cut with all type of different plastic surgery every day, all day. So you talking about these certain groups of ethnic groups in Africa that's mutilating their bodies by getting these certain scarification marks on their body, which we just went through multiple meanings of what these scarification marks means in Central Africa, South Africa, West Africa, and East Africa. So we mutilate our bodies all day, every day as well. The traditional scarification mark has declined in Africa. It has declined as well in Africa, Australia, and elsewhere since the 20th century due to health concerns and political culture changes. The Ivory Coast, for example, is one of the many modern African governments to have banned the practice as an anti-patriotic tribalism. Conversely, since the 1980s, scarification and branding have achieved growth code status among certain groups in Europe and in the USA, which is right. Modern methods include laser branding and code branding. We go through these different fraternities and we get branded with these fraternity marks on us that rise like certain scarification marks that we seen that they use certain plants, juice, gunpowder to actually raise to make these raise effects on the scarification marks. And some of the marks look like large kilos. We still do those today in some of these fraternities over here in the so-called great United States of America, which use extremely cold liquid nitrogens rather than heat to mark the skin. Greatest difference in these practices is that for later days, a herd such as choices are freely made. Yes, they are freely made. It's no such. It's not a cultural thing where okay, your parents okay, this is the norm of the culture. Once you reach a certain age, okay, you finna get scarification mark, or once you go through your birthright, you finna get scarification mark, or that okay, according to my culture, women get scarification marks because it represents beauty and attraction, or we get scarification marks because, particularly in my tribe or my clan, women, I can be chosen as a wife because I have these certain scarification marks, or I put these certain scarification marks on because my culture uh deems me do because it wards off evil spirits. So now it is freely of choice. You have a choice if you want to get them put on. Often these are not statements belonging to beauty as before, but rather a rejection of belonging to mainstream societies. Today's scarification made less about attractiveness and endorsement and more to do with simply being radical. These are my references here. Like I told you, I wasn't gonna hold y'all too long. Um, with with a presentation. Like I said, me and Sean gonna continue to do these impromptu presentations, just small presentations, learning presentations. And on Sunday we'll continue to, even though today's Sunday, but normally on Sunday at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time we do our big presentations, which Sean did a presentation today. So if you didn't check that presentation out that he did earlier, please uh check that presentation out that he did today. And I just came back today and did an impromptu video. I did one yesterday. If you hadn't checked it out, also go check that one out. It's called "What Is." Man, what did I do? What is hmm, what is uh what is the art of storytelling in Africa? And today this one is called "What is Scarification in Africa?" And again, scarification is one of the rites of passages. I don't mention scarification and tattooing a lot when I'm talking about the rites of passage, but they are. You have again the birthright, you have the birthright, you have the adult right, and inside the birthright, you have the naming right, where you have a naming ceremony. Some name their children 7 days after their birth, 3 days after, 14 days after. Women births are 21 days after. Some are sooner than the male's birth. I mean, their name. This is doing the birthright. Then you have the adult right, and then you have the circumcision right. You have the marriage rights, which is the unifying of uh, two tribes or countries or clans, and also uh, for for birth. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about having children without talking about marriage. Uh, Birth and marriage goes hand in hand in African culture. They go hand in hand. Then you have the marriage, you have the elder right, and then you have the ancestral right. Um, and also you have the scarification right, which is the scarification right is intertwined with the adult right. Some again, and intertwined with the birthright. So, and you have the tattooing right as well. But these are my references here. Again, I'll keep it paused for a few minutes. You can go through uh, my references. Let me look in the chat real quick. I hope everybody appreciate um, the presentation again. If you missed the presentation earlier today by saying any Harriet Sean Cal funny, please go check that presentation out today. It was a small presentation. It was a nice presentation, so go check that presentation out. Also go back and check out the small presentation that I did on yesterday. What is storytelling in Africa, or the art of storytelling in Africa, where I deal with the folklores, folklores, folk tales. I deal with uh, the griots a little bit. I deal with the singing, the dancing that's in the folk tales, the folklores, or storytelling doesn't just particularly deal with word of mouth, speaking words from your mouth into one's ear, but also by face gestures, by singing, dancing, and reenacting or acting out certain things in masquerades, playing certain instruments, uh, and etc., and using proverbs for life lessons and moral lessons, as well as I deal with the Akan proverbs, and I deal with two different southern folklore, and I think I deal with a West African folklore where we read the folklore and then we broke down the meaning of the folklore. So if you missed that, go check that one out as well. Again, please go subscribe to these channels. Um, the Seshuma Ani Meta Nature. We are a like-minded group of individuals who are aspiring to be true scribes of the Seshuma Nature. We are studying the language, which is the Rani Kennedy, and the writing script, which is called the Seshmeru Nature, or you may know as the hieroglyphs. Also, go check or log into our website. It is www.seshumaanimetunature.com, where you can get uh, articles. You can also get the penmanship book by a sister who also is a member, the penmanship book by Emicat, or you can get the book that we put out 2016. The rebuttal to Walter Williams has the ancient hieroglyphs been deciphered, or if you're interested in taking the classes and learning the Session Meta Nature, at the beginner course book by Siba Wuja Irimaat, where you can order. It's a textbook for the class, and you can get the information on who to contact and the prices for the classes. Also, check out our Facebook page, which is also called Seshuma Ani Meta Nature. Please go and subscribe. Please go and subscribe. Please and go and subscribe to Kofi Piesie TV. That is my platform, as well as the other two brothers' platform on the panel now. Sasep Rise on the panel. Vasa Nicolo is on the panel. We have created a bond and a family forum for Kofi Piesie TV. Kofi Piesie TV is the African Netflix. It is the channel that takes the black man, the black woman, and black child Eurocentric mind and Africanize them. So please go check out that. Anything you want to know about African culture, tradition, the way of the ancestors, whatever, it is on Kofi Piesie TV. I have a lot of content on there, but again, it has become a family forum. So Kofi Piesie TV is not only Kofi Piesie anymore. It is Any Haret Sean Cal Funny. It is Satepin Ra Mary Amin. It is Vasa Nicolo Gullah. It is T'Challa Bangara, and it is Asar M. Akkad. Even though my brother Asar M. Akkad, I think is acting funny. Where you at, Asar? Where you at, Asar M. Akkad? Uh, but those brothers are also the face of and the family of Kofi Pasa TV. And I want to add another brother into the family fold. I've been checking the brother out for a while, and hopefully the brother inbox me, man. Sutek, man, brother Sutek, inbox me, man. Sutek, if you still on here, man. Sutek, inbox me, man. Inbox me my number, man. Let's chop it up tonight. But please subscribe to that channel. Also, please go and subscribe to the Mossi Warrior Clan channel. Please go and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. There is no other platform that I know of, and there may be, but I'm just saying that I know of that's putting out content about Africa. I mean, if you want to know anything about Africa, as well as Kofi Piesie TV, go to Mossi Warrior Clan channel, and we have a lot of content. We specifically deal with the region of West Africa, but we have also started venturing and touching into other areas in Africa, such as East Africa, such as South Africa, such as North Africa, as well as Central Africa. So we have content in Central Africa on the channel now. We have content in East Africa on the channel now. We have content dealing with South Africa on the platform now. So please subscribe to Mossy Warrior Clan YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Also go and like our Facebook page. We have a Mossy Warrior Clan page on Facebook. Please go and like the page, because I guarantee that the content that we have on there you gonna love if you like African culture, African church tradition, African way of life. Um, then that like page is for you, and I guarantee that you're gonna love the content that we have posted on that like page. So again, please go subscribe. Uh, um, support. Before I go, I got Satep and Rod Mariaman. I have Vasa Nicolo Gullah. I don't know where my brother Any Harris Sean Calfunny is at. But if y'all got anything to say before we jump up off here, man, go ahead. Y'all still on here? Y'all done jumped off here? Y'all done went to sleep? I done put y'all to sleep. What's going on?
I'm here. I seen Sean pop in, so I was
We
gonna
ain't
wait.
here, man. We ain't here.
I was gonna wait to see if Sean was gonna speak because he's in here. At least I see his avatar.
Yeah, he probably in here now. Peanut head ass. But go
But
ahead.
I don't want to go over everything me and you started building on yesterday pertaining to family, but I do want to announce, again that I plan on doing that show. Well, we plan on doing that show as a family. But to the listening audience, I want y'all to really, really think about that word in between now and then, because I'm going to ask the audience, because I want it to be a family event. What is family to you? And at the moment, I'm going to reference a key figure that I may put into together with what I'm going to. It was a slave by Venture Smith, by the name of Venture Smith. On the day he got married, the ceremony process, if we want to call it, that he embarked with his wife was he threw a rope over the master's house and he told her to stand on one side of the house. And he told her to pull the rope as strong as she could. As time goes by of her pulling and pulling and pulling, he eventually called her name over to his side of the house and said, "Look, in life it's just like this. If me and you pull against each other, we will never win. But if we pull together, we will never lose." The implication on that is no longer can we have a division between man and woman, husband and wife, or our family. If we really, really tune to win and get back into living on this planet the way we need to, the first element we all have to address is the family. I don't want to get too long winded and take away from the show, but that's where I want to lead the conversation to.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that discussion slash presentation or however we gonna do that dealing with the family. Me and you discussed it last night, and we done talked about it, and maybe we'll discuss it with the brothers that's on the platform at the end, and then you'll hear my perspective on this whole thing dealing with the ADOS thing, because I hadn't really spoke too much about ADOS, my viewpoints on it. Or not, but you'll probably hear me speak on it during this particular presentation when we talk about um, the family, and how important the family structure and et cetera. So we'll probably touch on the ADOS because me and him actually he actually said something yesterday, and we both agreed that without this concept of family or the structured family concept, then we'll get into it. I don't want to get into it, but go ahead, man. But I'm excited about I'm excited about that, and that's gonna be on Kofi Piesie TV. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll close out with that, and then if anybody hasn't studied this man before, go ahead and look into him. His name is Venture Smith, at least in English. I believe he was from Ghana, and his name was Boturu, if I'm not mistaken. But look at what he did in his concept of family. He worked as hard as he could. He defended his wife to the point where it got him in trouble. But not only that, he worked a way to purchase his family and get them all to freedom. So it's one of those uncelebrated giants of our past that we should bring to the forefront. But that his whole mind frame was family, family, family. So I'm gonna chime out with that and leave it to the rest of the family on the panel.
All right. Yeah, peace, man. It was a good show. It was nice, man. You went in. I like how you went in depth a little bit more than you did on the last one. So I remember you did a presentation on this. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. That's the Tep and Ra Mary Yaman, y'all. Satep and Ra.
Satet about to show y'all how to grow fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
We working, man. We working.
Sean, you still got your peanut head on here, man? Or you gone? You just got your avatar on here like you on here and you doing something else? Yeah, he doing something.
Just being real. The presentation was long as hell, so I really ain't got nothing to say.
That presentation wasn't long, man. Yeah, that's
I
a
went to
first.
sleep twice. You were still on the 4th slide.
Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. But yeah. But again, man, y'all, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in, man, and rocking out with us, man. Y'all could have been doing anything else with y'all time, man, but y'all came to support the Mossi, man, and the other brothers, the Stended brothers on the Stended family on the panel. So we appreciate that, man. We appreciate that more than you ever know, man. So I want to say a dupe or madupe. I want to say moriri. I want to say dua, duao. Uh, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Black African power, family. We out, man.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it? They took everything else.
History is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is also a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells of people where they have been and what they have been, where they are and what they are.
Like a warrior. Walk like a warrior. Walk like a warrior. Walk like a warrior. I ain't talking about no monster. I ain't talking about no gangster. I'm hollering at the soldier. Revolutionary culture. Bang on out.